Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moonride, where we're channeling the man in the moon. Please take a moment now just to bring some love into your heart and send it out to those people who are really suffering right now. People have lost loved ones. People are being forced to work in very dangerous situations, and those also have implications for those people themselves and their families. So, just if you could bring it into your heart and just sort of send it out into the universe that those people will be comforted and those people who have passed have a safe passing into the next world. Today I would like to look at political situations, and I immediately got Trump, so we'll see what he is up to. It's funny, I'm actually leaving, starting where I left off the last time, which is with Trump sort of sending balls of fire in certain directions, desperately sending balls of fire in different directions, really looking rageful. What a surprise there, but he is really getting mad as usual. But he's like sending these fireballs out in all those directions, trying to create a distraction. And he's getting more and more desperate. November 1st, November 3rd. Is that when maybe that is when we have the elections. That just, those numbers popped out. I think it is actually November 3rd. Maybe that's why the November dates just popped out for me. But obviously something's going to happen there. But if that is indeed the date of the election, why am I being shown those dates? Yeah, I do get election. But, okay, tell me more. Trump appears to really be trying to manipulate the vote. You know those old, in Florida where they had the hanging chads and they had those almost, little, there's voting forms where you were supposed to poke out the holes and, some of the holes weren't perfectly. That's what I'm seeing is that form. And it's like he's looking really sneaky and trying to be tricky here. Yeah, he's taking the votes and putting them in his pocket, which sort of gives me a feeling of he's trying to suppress the vote. There I see a courtroom. And it's disappointing that the court actually seems to be siding with Trump and it appears to be a voting issue. But don't misunderstand this. Although the court is somewhat siding with Trump, it seems to be infuriating a majority of people. That it's making them so angry that it actually, although it looks bad, it might actually turn out to be a good thing because it will make 2/3 of the people so upset that they will be more likely to go out and vote because they know that this is wrong. It's just completely just not judicial. It's not legal what they're doing. They're clearly like having a sort of bias in this moment. And they know it. Like the judge looks shifty. The judge knows he's doing something wrong. Is that what I'm seeing? It might just be a temporary thing, and then we go to a next court, and they're a little bit more sympathetic, especially because 2/3 of the people are so angry. They might strike down this decision. Has something to do with Georgia, maybe Florida, where they're really trying to manipulate the votes. And they're trying to get like last minute decisions. They're trying to do it, 2 weeks before the election so that there's not enough time to solve the problems to get the vote out. I know that Trump is trying to like withhold money from states that are making voting easier. So he's like, for example, Michigan trying to withhold their money because they're having mail-in ballots. And I see him like take a wad of cash and put it in his pocket. Now, he doesn't appear to be succeeding. He is successful at intimidating some states, but it's almost like he puts the money in his pocket, and then it comes out of his other pocket. I don't know quite what that means, but he can't do it. It's like he can't do it. He can't really refuse to give money in a crisis because of this. And again, it doesn't serve him. He thinks he's being tricky, but it's making people angry. The more that he's making it difficult for people to vote, the more motivated people are to go and vote against him. So he's trying to pull the same tricks that he did in 2016, but they're just not working as well. And they aren't the same tricks, obviously. Now he's the government. He is the big bad enemy, as opposed to him being the outsider. Now he's the insider that's trying to stop you from having your freedom. Okay, I see a ship, a USS, vessel, a United States vessel, and it's steaming toward someplace. Where is it going? I'm having trouble recognizing where the ship is going. Like, I can see the terrain, but I don't know what country it is. It's going towards a peninsula. It's like there's almost like a deal or an agreement or something, but it seems benign, and but something goes wrong. So it's like while Trump is shaking somebody's hand, somebody's doing something to undermine the agreement. That's what he appears to be doing. Could be South Korea. I have a feeling that North Korea is going to do some more provocative moves. That's what it looks like, that it's South and North Korea. And while he's doing something to kind of agree with South Korea, North Korea is getting angry. And they're doing something very provocative. They're causing more problems for Trump and the world, but especially for Trump. And they're actually doing it on purpose because they know Trump really wants to win. So they think they're going to get some concessions out of him because he's desperate. A lot of people sense that Trump is desperate, and a lot of people are manipulating him to get something out of him, right? And out of our nation. I do see Putin. Putin is holding up some papers. Putin looks very threatening. Because keep in mind, Putin's against the wall too. He's in trouble politically because of the situation in Russia. He's appearing very like he's almost like holding it. It almost looks like stocks or something like that. I get a feeling like he's got some financial information on Trump. Now it might not matter because I get the feeling like here's the paper. Here's Putin holding these. Also like stock certificates, and then he kind of drops them. So somebody's going to drop the bomb on Trump in a sense of someone is going to figure this relationship out between he and Putin, and it'll all be exposed, perhaps by the exposure of his tax returns. Because it looks like Putin has deflated all the things that he was doing to hang over, all the things he had to hang over Trump. They seem to be deflated. And Putin is looking at an angry mob. So Putin himself is starting to get seriously afraid of what's happening here. There are some people jockeying for their own power, and they're threatening to take him down. I'm not sure if they're going to take him down, but they're going to get close. Closer than they've ever gotten. And it's going to plunge the former USSR, Russia, into some kind of crisis. It feels very karmic. Here Russia has done a lot of really bad things. And now it's similar to the United States. The chickens are coming home to roost. China is coming out the winner, right? In this battle for the planetary control, China is looking smooth as you can be. I couldn't care less. I mean, we're all gonna go kill each other. China is just like, go ahead, couldn't care less. You guys do what you want. He's China's playing the long game, right? And don't misunderstand us to think that China's permanently going to be more powerful than the United States. It's just a battle. It is not the war. Ultimately, this is just a power play. It's temporary. It will eventually pass. But the fact that China has a power right now, again, is not good for Trump. Okay, I see Trump doing really self-destructive things. I just want to let people know, I don't want you to sit and forget about your activism now at all. That is not the message. It's very important that we be very active. But understand that many of the things that Trump is going to do will be totally self-destructive measures. As he gets closer and closer and closer to the election, he will be essentially stabbing himself in the stomach because that's all he's got, and he's just getting desperate. And even ultimately tries to kind of, well, it's not surprising, he tries to play the sympathy card, poor me, look how victim I am. That's not that surprising, but there's something very specific about this time. It almost looks like he's like attempted suicide, and then, oh, they drove me to it. I don't believe that to be literal. I believe that to be kind of symbolic. People are starting to turn away. It looks like his supporters are finally turning away from him because he just looks pathetic. He doesn't look like a mean, nasty big guy. He looks like a wimp. And he does look more and more, they're getting humiliated by supporting him. And there's a whole body of people that are getting really angry at him. And it feels almost like a new group of people, not the progressives and liberals and stuff, but a new body of people, the same kind of margin of people who got him elected, seem to be really infuriated. And I just see like an insurmountable rage from these people. These people seem to be like the body of people that's now unemployed. They're protesting. Protesting is just can barely contain their rage. They're so mad. Something to do with Canada. I see people en masse in Canada, but it seems friendly. Like it seems like they're helping. There's a problem between the two nations. Like Trump's creating a problem, but it's like Canada seems much more benign to us. It seems much more, maybe they get a handle on the virus first, or they come up with a solution or something like that. They seem to be offering kind of help. And it makes Trump look bad. It's a funny image. Trump actually is trying to put on a mask, but it keeps falling off. It's like he can't help himself. Even if he's trying to, follow the rules that people tell him to, he can't stand it. He can't stand it when somebody else is telling him what to do. He can't stand it. He can't admit he's wrong. It's making him so angry. Every time he sees somebody with a mask, he gets more and more angry. It's just reminding him of his failure. Spirit, what else do we need to know about Trump? Just one thing to note here is that we are learning. This might seem horrific, and it is. It's really difficult to watch what's happening. not just the rule of law, but the really crimes against humanity that are occurring to the American people. It's very difficult to watch. If you are focused on this, one helpful way is to switch over and go, what are we learning in this situation? How is this actually, in some ways, enlightening people to the truth? It will really help you get out of a funk and disappointment and all that stuff. If you can go, well, universe is changing. What are we learning? What am I learning from this experience? And remember, horrific as it is, there are people through the centuries who have been through much, much worse situations. Think of, entire cultures were decimated by the United States even. Whole cultures were enslaved. Their lives were even more horrific than the one that we are experiencing now. Ask yourself again, what am I learning? There is something to be taken out of this, some benefit to be taken out of your experience. It is hard, and there's a lot of negative, but if you can step out of it and see not only how has society benefited, but what has been the positive benefit for you. It might even help you to, as you're feeling really depressed, to write down the things that you have learned because of this virus, maybe what's important or whatever that might be. It's not going to be constructive for you to watch the horrors over and over and over again. That's going to really harm you and really make you depressed and sad about humanity. Keep in mind, there are many good people doing really heroic things right now. Really heroic things. I talk to people all the time who are, grocery store tellers who are going into, deadly situations, and they're still brave enough to go and do that. I've talked to nurses who are coming out of retirement to help people, even risking their own lives. So don't forget that there are many good people doing many good things right now, and there are many people waking up right now, and all of us are learning something right now. It's not all dark. All right? Thanks so much for watching.